Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Strawn, and I'm the CEO and founder of My People Now, which is an employee engagement platform, and it's also modeled after the gig economy. So as Patty mentioned, if people don't fit into the 9 to 5, we want to serve them with the gig economy, and then if they do fit into the 9 to 5, we want to help them meet other employees who are like-minded. So my topic today is supposed to be the entrepreneurial mindset, and I want to talk about two things that are very entrepreneurial. And one of those is action, which I think we've all heard that word probably 1,000 times already today. And then the other one is risk-taking, because it is risky to be an entrepreneur. You're taking risk every single day. So I wanted to talk about specifically one type of action that sometimes people get a little bit funny around, and that's revenue. And I was lucky enough to get to be one of the 11 companies chosen for the Women in Cloud Accelerator, the second cohort. Thank you. And I just wanted to bring up a very real consideration that in order for this room to be filled with the 11 of us next year and bringing in the next cohort, we really have to think about revenue. And a friend of mine who's also in the cohort posted something on LinkedIn, I think this morning. It was something like, it was from Sarah Haggard from Tribute, and she said something like, companies should win an award when they take a chance on a startup by becoming one of their first customers. And so that's, before I bring up my panel guests, that's what I wanted to talk about. You know, we have a booth out in the exhibitor hall, and if you feel like you're in a position at your company where you can vote with your dollars and you can take action in the form of revenue, and you do want to test out one of our fabulous products out of the 11 companies, then come see us. And we would love to tell you more and just help you problem solve and help you problem solve in a way that helps other women entrepreneurs. So I want to go ahead and introduce these four amazing women who have joined me. So we have Sherry and Cassandra and Lena and Carolyn.
Hello. Oh, right here. Here we go.
And so I wanted to keep this to two questions. The first one is, what are some things that you guys have learned that can keep people from taking the kind of action or the kind of risk or chance on your startup? And then we'll talk about maybe some specific things that could help you advance your business. But let's start with you, Sherry.
Oh, sure. Yes, I think it's an interesting question. It's a good one. Thank you. And I think I guess I could start how I was raised. It's the context for how I would like to describe this. My father, I thought, raised me without bias. He's a pretty amazing man. He didn't just tell me that everyone was equal. He actually showed me that everyone was equal. He took the same time, spent the same energy, treated everyone with respect no matter what their status was, whether they were a male or a female. And it's partly because I actually was talking to him last night. The reason is that he had to support a family of 12 starting in the 8th grade. So he experienced the bias I was about to experience. So he just sort of had that perspective. So what happened in this process was I actually learned largely from the Women in Cloud Accelerator we were in, the bias that we face. I thought, oh yeah, it must be really hard. Maybe it's 60-40. I had no idea what the real stats were for women, you know, and what it's like to actually get out there and do this. And it made sense out of how difficult it was to do, you know, what we're all doing as female tech entrepreneurs. But other statistics I heard were that women were often made a company far more profitable, right? The more women you get higher up in the company, the more profitable it actually is. Those were thrilling, right? I loved learning about that, as well as they'll probably exit a year sooner. You know, so very confirming. I love that. But the thing I want to challenge ourselves with is when I heard those statistics, I actually heard a voice in my head that horrified me that said, are women really that good? Like, really? And I couldn't believe it. I thought I was raised without any of that, but our cultural beliefs are so ingrained and so strong, and I realized at that moment how difficult it is for me, who was raised that way, but I'm steeped in this culture, and we're all steeped in this culture. So for me, what I see as one of the biggest impediments to all of us moving forward and taking all of this diversity into a fabulous future is absolutely our own hidden biases. And we really have to look at them, and I have to look at mine, and I have to keep looking, because I bet there's a lot more stuff in there I don't even know about yet. So that's what I would say my challenge is for myself and for all of us, and that's the big hindrance, I think, that I've seen, right, that could be in the way. So
That's super scary stuff.
yeah.
Lena?
Yeah, so what I wanted to talk about, a challenge for an entrepreneur, is when you encounter the office of no. No, you can't do that. No, I don't have time for you right now. No, I'm not interested. That no is always been a point of pause for me to say, what can I do to get a yes? What is going on here with this person who just told me no? Is it the right person I'm even talking to? Maybe I need to rephrase the question. Maybe it's just not a good time and I need to follow up with this person again. But I think really what has always separated me from some others who really haven't had a chance to springboard into being an entrepreneur is take that opportunity to know and figure out how to get your yes. And don't get discouraged. You know, you really just need to keep hammering on, you know, your goals. And I know so many folks out there who say, like, how do you deal with this rejection of no? Like, I just deal with it. I move on. I find somebody like on this panel and I say, hey, have you ever been told no before? Have you?
Yes. And each no
Okay.
is closer, getting you closer to a yes.
Yeah.
So that's my advice to all of you. You want to become an entrepreneur, you need to handle no and find other people who are told no and start brainstorming with them. Get into a network of entrepreneurs who can help you find a yes and coach you and support you and make you feel that no is just like, no sweat off my back. Someone's going to tell me yes.
That's great.
And that's a good point to remember that a warm introduction can get you to that yes much more quickly.
Absolutely. I've been in enterprise software sales for over a decade. And so going into being an entrepreneur, I thought, oh, this won't be that hard. But when you're selling a new technology into an organization, you absolutely have to have champions in that organization that are going to take a bet on you. And what I can say about women entrepreneurs is all of them are about their customers. I have not met a single one that doesn't have a customer mindset. They are willing to wrap their arms around those people that have taken a bet on them to make sure whatever application they are going to deploy will be successful. And so I think about the no's that you hear, but it's those yeses from those champions and those warm introductions to help you get closer to those yeses. Don't be fearful of taking a bet on a female entrepreneur because they will work night and day to take care of that customer.
Absolutely. Carolyn?
Excellent.
So I'm all about diversity. I started my career in Japan in 1990 as the first Western hire in a 100-year-old Japanese manufacturing company. Wow. It was quite the journey. In fact, at that time I was 22, and every employee contract for women had a clause in most Japanese companies that said, I promise to live with my parents until I'm married. So they had to rethink that clause for me, of course. So I have faced diversity I had the double diversity factor going on for me when I was in Japan. And today, I've got a different kind of double diversity factor. So my company is Law Toolbox, and at law as in a law firm, not as in French toolbox. And we are a Microsoft partner. And I am very engaged with the Microsoft community, and I am a business person. I didn't study technology, but I started along with my partner back in 9/11, basically 11 days before 9/11, I said, goodbye IBM paycheck and hello self-employed, gulp. It was a scary moment. And at that time, we built a .com company where we addressed the #1 cause of malpractice claims against attorneys missing deadlines, and very well aligned with Microsoft. And so we brought that whole concept directly into Office 365 and have established an amazing partnership. But where I'm headed is this idea that I don't have an engineering background, and I believe that we need to change the way we think and women think and men think about what it means to be a leader in technology. For all of you women out there that think you needed to have done coding to be driving technology, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with driving the product roadmap, with starting the conversations about technology. So in my shoes, my company, I found myself having to play many roles, and I would be in a lot of these engineering meetings on these roadmap discussions with some pretty senior people at Microsoft on Office 365 or Teams. And the first day, and I'll end here, the first time I went into one of those meetings, of course, the engineers in my company cringed. They're like, what's she gonna say? They don't like having me have free will to talk to all these engineers about what I think. But I realized after the first couple that I was probably the best person to have at those meetings, because I came at it from a vantage point of understanding the business and understanding the technology. So my ask is that everybody think about trying to encourage the women you know in your personal life and in your work life to change the way they think about themselves and to kind of reform their way of thinking.
Thank you. So for the second question, I am a very helpful person, I would consider myself, and almost every single person I meet, I ask them, what can I do to help you? And I kind of feel small for a second. I think, oh, can little old me do anything for you? And most people don't actually give me an answer. Oh, no, we're fine. Oh, we're doing good. I'm like, really? Because I know what it's like to be an entrepreneur, and there are a million things I need right now. So for all you four up here, I want to ask you, what do you need? What action can someone take, maybe even here today, and say it in a way that our grandmas and our kids can understand, because it's got to cross all generations, and don't be shy about it, because we really want to know if we can help you.
Yeah. Oh, good. Do you want to start at any point?
I'd love to start with you, Sherry.
Again. Okay. Let's see. I, as all of we are, graduating from the Women in Cloud Accelerator. So all of us are pretty much in sales mode. So I have a product, it's called Vision Platform. We're scaling it now that we're through the accelerator. And what it does is it actually allows a leadership team, it gives them a workflow so they can actually get unified around a strategic vision before they start setting goals and strategies and implementing. So we've had fabulous success, 100 to 300% growth in the majority of companies that go through it. So it's pretty exceptional. And I need, if you guys happen to know, any of you know any CEOs? Do you know, are any of them open-minded? Okay, I would like to meet all of them. That would be so great, and see if I can actually help them take their very good teams and make them extraordinary. So that would be great. Thank you. That would be my ask. Thank you so much.
My ask would be around really helping other entrepreneurs find their toolkit, what is going to make them successful. And before I got into this accelerator program, I knew I really needed to kind of study some success factors that would help kind of fast track me on the 6-month program. 6 months goes by pretty fast. So I actually took a startup boot camp near Austin, Texas, and the room was filled with 30 other entrepreneurs. And a lot of the stuff in that class was actually kind of things that I already knew and I was tried and true to, but the other 30 individuals that I met in that room poked holes, they asked questions, they said, wow, that's a great idea. Hey, let me tell you about my startup. And that community that I find, I think you need to go back to your hometown, wherever you flew in from, and find that entrepreneur network and start to build your toolkit.
So I think that the Women in Cloud Network has been amazing. There's so many executives and women, and that panel we just had with male allyship, people that are open to having conversations with female entrepreneurs and also business people in the room to do networking. I think the best ask of anybody in the room is make some connections, do business. My company is called PartnerTap, and we connect sales and channel teams around shared accounts and opportunities to help drive more business business forward. So if you know anybody that runs sales teams or channel teams, those are the introductions that we're looking for. And I'm happy to learn about your organization because we probably know a lot of people that need your services too.
Sounds like a good connection here. I think we could use that. So today, if you think about digital transformation, a big part of that is obviously moving to the cloud. Another big part of that is related to people, transitioning away from email and to more sophisticated ways of collaborating. And if you're a company, then you're probably going to be doing that inside of Microsoft Teams. You've probably started. And our product is a solution that has, Law Toolbox has the automation of legal calendaring based on courts or regulatory compliance, whatever it is. And now that we have built our solution inside of Teams, and we automatically create a team for every legal matter and are growing it into HR and marketing, my ask would be if any of you are in the world of helping companies go into the digital age and embark in a new way of collaborating, would love for you to reach out to me, and I'll be here all day.
Awesome. So there you have it. We have a community booth out in the exhibitor hall where you can find most of us. And I have trained my husband to give a pitch for each one of the graduates. So he has been really going at it all morning, and I love hearing it. So stop by even for fun and giggles. And thank you guys so much. And last thing I'll say is if you want to be an entrepreneur for a day, it's action, it's risk, it's fear, it's excitement, it's this roller coaster, maybe 8 to 12 times a day that you go up and down. But I think most of us up here would not have it any other way because it's dang exciting once you get on. So thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.